Hello, hello. Alright, microphone is working. Dang, that was fast. What's up? Alright, give me like 3 seconds. Alrighty. Now that I've done that, we can get to work. We are not animating today, like I said I would, because I'm a liar. I apologize. We did a playtest this weekend, and the biggest feedback from the playtest, it was an internal playtest, so that's why those of you that are testers might not have, seen it. This version we're only holding internal playtests. We haven't started to do private playtests, is I guess what that would be, since it's limited to the testers. But biggest feedback was settings. People are currently using my controls, which aren't the best controls. And so, yeah. So biggest thing is settings. They want to be able to change like audio levels and stuff like that. So that is what we were working on today. Yeah. And I found out how to properly do widget inheritance, which is amazing because now I can create a parent widget that just has all the stuff for the base setting stuff, and then like in here I can specify specific things for like sliders, and that'll be huge. So because that's something that it's kind of weird with how Unreal does it. It's not as easy as it is for like actors. So hello. So if we open up my temporary settings menu and we open this up and we call this FOV, and boom, it automatically changes to FOV, which is cool. However, we need settings for the min and max slider value and the input. Or the like snap input. So we need or we can do vector 2D. And we can call this slider limits. And I swear I remember moving this over here. Maybe I didn't. Here we go. If I remember correctly, this may not work. No, it works. Okay, cool. It does work exactly how it's supposed to. So what we want to do is get the slider and the scroll box, and we want to, let's see, there's minimum value and minimum slider value. Okay. Which these should be one and the same, in my personal opinion. And then we do set min value. Yeah. I sound like a German when I said that. Yeah. Then we want to set maximum slider value, set maximum value, and set max value. This one first, then this one. You're all good. And then we can drag in that setting that we created called slider limits and split it and put X into the minimum and Y into the maximum. And we'll make the defaults for this 0 and 1. So now in here, now we have, oh. It's weird, you can't reorder that. Interesting. Okay. But for FOV, the minimum should be 60 and the maximum should be 90. So if we click play and I open up my temporary settings menu, when we start dragging, you can see now it's limited to 60 and 90. And same thing for this. However, I don't want to see this bar for this slider because that's what this slider is for, so I am going to remove this. We need to go into our slider setting. We want to go into the style for this. Active fill brush, I think the active fill brush is nope. Ah, there we go. Okay, it is the active fill brush, so we want to change this to 0. Now when we click compile and we play, now we can't see that anymore. Perfect. Now we need to set up snapping, because this is, if you look at the left side, I have it just print out the value whenever it changes, and you can see it's not snapping to values, which you would expect it to. So let's set up the snapping variable. Slider snap size. what's it called? It is called delta. And that should work for this. Oh, I haven't even set the snap size. I'm dumb. We set this to instance editable. Go back to our settings. Now we can set slider snap size to 1. And that should work for that. Yeah. And then whenever we update this value, we actually just want to snap to grid. No, that's not what I wanted. Snap to grid. And then we'll just do this. Just to be safe. Technically, we only need it for the slider, but oh well. And actually, I want to collapse this so we can update value. New value. That way I can just put both of these in here. I don't know if this will give us an infinite loop. It might. We'll see. Oh. What we need to do is we actually need to create another variable called current value, and anytime we update the value, we just need to set this to current value. And then whenever we're receiving a value, as long as the snapped to grid is not equal to current value, then we update. Otherwise, we're updating a bunch of times that we don't need to, which means any settings that might be like taxing on the system to change. I don't know why they would be with a slider, but the thing I'm noticing now is we are getting 2. It is updating it twice. So I wonder if we do this, if we close this and then also open it after. Might fix it. We'll see. Nope.
Did I flip these? I did. Whoops. There we go. Now it's only updating once. Anytime the value changes. Easy peasy. Just takes a little finagling, but it works. I mean, we're not gonna look at this horrendous code. There's no real way to clean this up, so we're just gonna leave that how it is. I mean, there is a way to clean it up, but I'm not worried about it. So now we can take this slider, and instead of using this to update the FOV, instead we can take we can take our on value changed for this slider, stick that into the FOV, and now we can change our FOV with our new slider. Fancy schmancy. And I realize I set the max to 90, even though the max FOV is 120, because that's what I play on. And we need an input on our update value called is setup. Oh, what is up, Van? How's it going? I appreciate that. It's going good. I'm very happy. We are able to playtest again finally. All Epic finally got their stuff together and released the fab, like released all the fab stuff. So, or fab released the Epic Online Services stuff, my bad. So I was finally able to update, package the engine, and do all that, so now we've been able to hold playtest, which is very fun, and that is the entire reason that today I'm working on settings instead of animating like I said I would. Because that was the biggest feedback from the test session, is just that the two people I was playing with, they couldn't change their settings, and my controls are, I know we've talked about this, but my controls are not what the majority of people use. So yeah, new playtests again for this version, not until this version is I mean, like, for the community to join in on, yeah, not until this vertical slice is finished. That's when we'll officially start testing this version. But we hold internal play tests pretty much every week. And we'll probably start streaming those here shortly in like a couple weeks. Just we'll hop on one morning, probably Friday mornings. That's when we have, that's like when my friends know that, like, that's kind of our internal playtest day, is Fridays. So yeah. Just and that's just simply because this version's just not ready for people to start playtesting it. The people who I play test with, they know, they've been playing it for literally the longest. They've been there since day one, so they understand what the game is and isn't supposed to be like. And so yeah, they just they know what it's supposed to be playing like, and they know what's missing, they know what's supposed to be there. So that's why it's just not ready for public playtesting, just because I don't want to get the swarm of people saying that things are broken when I already know that those things are broken. The game's not ready for public playtesting, so I don't need people telling me, oh, I can spam throw grenades. Yeah, cool. I know that the grenade system is not finished. It won't be until I reanimate the grenade throw. So and honestly, you would think saying oh, the game's not, you know, there are some brokers and things, just don't worry about it. Well, the issue is, if you say that, people either just, one, assume that if something breaks, that it's supposed to break, and two, well, and if they just think that, then the things that are supposed to work that are breaking, I will never learn about. I will never figure that out, because everyone just assumes, oh, something's breaking, it's supposed to be, it is broken, and he knows that. And if I tell them to tell me about broken stuff, then it just becomes super repetitive, and people just tell me the things that I do know over and over and over and over and over and over again. So it's just, it's not worth the mental annoyance of dealing with that. So but that's why with this polish phase, as far as I'm aware, everything should be fully functional with 0 bugs as far as I'm aware. And so once this polish phase gets up to that point, and we've done our internal playtesting, and I've fixed as many bugs as I can, if not all the bugs, that's the hope, is to fix all the bugs, then that's when we'll open it up to the community to start playtesting again. But the issue is, even when we open it up to the community to start playtesting, we're only going to have 3 guns, probably only a couple maps, and deathmatch. So it's not at all going to be back up to the spot where it was when we were playtesting it last. So I guarantee you a lot of the playtesters aren't going to stick around. Some of them have already left just because we haven't hosted a test session in a while, which I think is funny. There's quite a few playtesters who are purely in the server and purely playtesting just because playtesting was active. As soon as I started on this version and stopped playtesting, so many people left. And it's like, it was weird because they were people who seemed very invested in the game's future. So it's very confusing to see that I don't know, just to see that those people weren't actually invested in the game. They were just joining just to play it. Which, if they found it fun, then you would hope that they would stick through till the end. But I guess not. I guess people just, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. yeah, that's the thing that's kind of, what's the term I'm looking for? That's what's kind of like bumming about it, I guess. It's not the right word, but it's what I'm gonna go with. Is that, yeah, we all had so much fun playtesting the Gen 2 build, and it sucks that, you know, we can't playtest this because I'm recoding it. But this is a very necessary step, and but it's like, it's gonna take so much longer to get Gen 3 up to the state that Gen 2 was, not only because I'm starting from scratch, but it's also the fact of I'm coding it properly this time. Obviously, coding things properly takes time. Back then, I was just prototyping. I was just throwing things together. Now I'm like trying to code things as fairly optimized as I can. And it's taking a while. And so that has definitely thrown a wrench into the mix, because I'm honestly just in the Discord server, I'm seeing so many people leave. So yeah, it's taking a while, but I can wholeheartedly guarantee you that just from a little bit in this build, I can guarantee you Gen 3 is going to be a million times more fun than Gen 2, just because the feedback of it, the sounds, we've been getting so many new sounds in. I've got a sound guy he's been doing amazing. Oh shoot, I forgot to send him the next list of sounds to make. Whoops. Like, he's got some new hit marker sounds. If I stick him with a grenade, you can hear the kill sound. Oh, well, there's also shield breaks. I need to do a lot of audio mixing. Yeah, so that's the kill sound. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Why do you spawn right there? Yeah, so like, we've got new kill sounds, we've got new... Like, listen to that. Even though the audio balancing is horrible, that just sounds way... you can hear my massive smile on my face just because this just sounds so much better. Like you can hear the shields break. We've obviously got the first person shield sounds now, so also when I take damage, you'll hear that. Like, that's the sound of you taking shield damage, and then when you start taking health, it'll sound like health. Obviously, that's the sound for like a bullet hitting you. I don't know if we're gonna have different sounds for I don't know if we're gonna have different sounds for, like, you know, different things hitting you. Like if you get hit with a melee, and that's actually one of the next sounds I'll have him do is the melee. But I also want to animate the melee swing. Appreciate it, Mr. Lonely. Speaking of playtesting, next time you test any of your games, send me an invite. I'm always checking in your server and looking at your stuff. So if you ever need another tester and I'm online, my schedule's really weird, but if I'm online, feel free to shoot me an invite. I'll probably hop in, because your games look fun too. I watch all your videos as well. So what's funny? Ugh. Ugh. I assume you're talking about the death sounds. Yeah. Even though you use Unity. Gross. The kills, I like the death sounds, the screaming. Yeah, those are... I'll definitely go through and re-record those. What I'm wanting to do, and this is something you guys can obviously have input on, I'm thinking I'm going to have like an option in customization for your character voice. But the issue is I don't really have voice lines. I'm not going to do like the Halo Infinite thing where you can hear your Spartan say, over yonder. That's one of the voice lines in Halo. It's so stupid. I don't know. But like, I'm thinking about having a thing where you can customize your voice, because right now we've got audio player voice death. If we open up the death noise, we've got these. How many is that? 10. We've got these 10, which are mine, and we've got these 7, which are a buddy of mine's, and his are the better sounding ones. Like his sound. He's done voice acting before. He's done a lot of machinimas and voice acting, so his are definitely better. His has like commitment. Mine are just yeah. Nah, you're right. I mean, hey, Mr. Lonely, I started in Unity, and Unity is goated. I just, it's Unreal versus Unity. We gotta have our feud. I mean, one of my good friends, who is the one that play tests with me, he uses Unity for his game, so and he's helped me quite a bit, and I've helped him quite a bit, so Unity's not bad. I just, engine wars. Oh my. Alright, time to figure out why this isn't working. Because what's supposed to happen is it's supposed to go through here, close those gates, then open the gates. Yeah, that is like my biggest advocation. That is why I'm such a big advocate for visual scripting. Is I've shown that so many times on my streams. I'm sure you've seen me do it, but like, yeah, I can just scroll out here and I can kind of give you just a gist of what's going on here. Like the organization of visual scripting, if you do it, even if you don't do it, like if we go to my HUD widget, and we go to the, that's not what I wanted. We go to the HUD updates. Oh, it's right here. Like just the organization of this, like, one of the things I actually just found out is like a really cool tip, and I need to start doing it in my blueprints, is if you create a comment, you can do the Windows period to bring up the emoji menu, which if you guys didn't know, you can bring up an emoji menu with Windows period, and you can stick emojis in Unreal, and then you stick like the font size to be like 80, and then you resize the comment to be pretty much as the size of the emoji, and you can stick that next to your code. That way when you're zoomed out like this, or maybe let's go like 120. That way when you're zoomed out, you can be like, oh, the skateboard is my friction code. I don't know. Like you can organize your stuff, and then you would comment this entire thing. But you would see the skateboard and you'd be able to tell, oh, the skateboard is my friction code. And then you could say, I could put up here, I could type shield and pop that in there. And this is my shield code. If I pop over here, then I type blood. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Windows period, blood. And I put the blood emoji there. Oh, Unreal actually doesn't have the blood emoji. Interesting. So yeah, some emojis don't work. But I could say like, yeah, I never commented anything in C++. Just put a bullseye, a target, as this emoji for the blood. And so, you can just kind of remember, oh yeah, these emojis are this code. And so you just remember that, and, it's actually very, very, very helpful, like, thing for organizing. Have I used it since learning that a month and a half ago? No. But should I start using it? Yeah, probably. But I mean, then you end up spending like just a bunch of time just trying to find the right emoji. because obviously you want your emojis to kind of make sense. Like I wanted the blood for this, but the blood doesn't work. So, but yeah, no, that definitely beats commenting in C++. And I mean, or C# and C++. But to be fair, Unity has a visual scripter now, doesn't it? Huh. Why? Have you tried that out at all? That's interesting. I can't set the value. Oh, I guess if we're doing setup, we would just skip that check. I don't know if that's going to fix it. Nope, that still does not fix it. Okay, there's 2 bugs happening here. Oh gosh, the music ended. I forget that the first album is very short. Let me set it to loop. There we go. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Unreal Engine actually has some interesting themes. You can like change the way the wires look in Unreal. You can make them, instead of them being this nice curve, you can have them be like a straight line. They've got some interesting ones, but I've used this for so long that I really don't care. I don't mind it at all. I am so confused why this code doesn't work. I guess first, though, let's set up this code. This should stop the FOV from changing every time I open up the settings. I should probably just create a function in the parent. No. Trying to open up my gum. I bought a bunch of gum today. Because at the bar, I am the gum guy. And yes, I go out to the bar. Not to drink, but to dance. So. But I'm the gum guy. I always have gum with me. So, anytime I go to the bar, I put the gum on the table and everyone always asks if they can have a piece. Okay, in theory, this should stop. If you have a... Nope. It doesn't. That's great. So which part of this is breaking? That's the question. Interesting. Let's see if this works. Nope. Still set it. Why? This is so confusing because I don't even know where I would go to like print string. Oh boy, 1 FOV. The engine does not like 1 FOV. Okay, let me test something. Nope, still happens there. Well, I guess we just do the same thing we did earlier and just print out which one is causing the break. That isn't even what I wanted to type. I've got such fat fingers today. Interesting. The spin box is what's causing it. But we are closing all the gates. So this shouldn't even be able to be running. Gosh, all this gate code is so weird. What happens if we close the spin box first? I don't think that'll change anything. It might change it to be slider only. Nope, it still says spin box. Oh boy. Well, let's print all this stuff out and just read all the print strings so we can see the execution order. Close slider. Alright, see ya. Actually, I need to go take a bath too. After the stream. Alright, well, now let's see where this is breaking. It opens it, it says value, oh. Oh, maybe that's a little too big. Alright, so first thing it's calling is value updated, and then it's calling spin box, and then close slider, close spin, close slider, close spin. Value updated. Again. Interesting. Okay, what if we just skip setting the spin box? Oh. I has an idea, and I'm like 90% confident it's gonna work. Let us see if this works. I think what's happening is because it's doing all this stuff for the spin box and the slider setting like the limits and all that. I think that's causing the value to be changed on the spin box, which is then running this code, and then it's calling set, and then it's causing it to be reset. So now, that's it. Big brain. All right, cool. That works. So now we can set our FOV to like 80, reopen it and still stays at 80. And in theory, if we close it and open it, our FOV is 80, and I can just go and change it to 120. Easy. All right. So glad I figured that out. That was really getting on my nerves. I hate weird things like that where it's just an order of operations type thing that, because this is running first, this is causing this event to run before we are setting the value. So, weird things like that. So now, in theory, we can go in here and also put our sensitivities in here. Horizontal I can't spell sensitivity. And then we want to go vertical. And for both of these, we want the snap size to be 0.001, minimum 0, maximum of like, I don't know, 10. I think that feels good for sliders, 10. On value changed, on value changed. That's visibility changed. I guess I should rename it to on value changed. Ugh. On value. Seriously, changing the name of that doesn't automatically fix the references. That's a little whack. But okay. Reminder to not rename event dispatchers in Unreal. Horizontal sense and vertical sense. We plug that in. clean up these nodes a little. Then we can go into here and delete all 3 of these. Bada bing, bada. Oh, I don't like that. So boom, we set this width to like 1,000. That's what I think, but most of my menus are set to. Yeah. We don't need any of this. And now we press P. My sensitivity is set to 1. That is what I'm doing. Now we also need to automatically set the fractional, set max fractional digits. I think what we are going to do for this is if we take the snap size and we go to string, this will give us a string. That's why we're putting it to string. I know, crazy. Then if we parse into array based off of delimiter of period. So basically what this is, parsing into an array, is any time that it sees a specific character. So in this case, slider snap size is 1.0. If we set this to 0.2, it says 0.2. So anytime that we see this period, because we've set this as our delimiter, it'll create an array of everything divided into that. So if we have, in this example, if we have like 45.83 to 0.90 and we parse it into an array, then it'll put these 3 values into an array. So we'll have an array of 45, 82, and 90. And then what I can do with that is get the second index, which is technically the first, because index is, yeah. And we can get the length of that. And that will automatically determine our max fractional digits. So now if we press P, it don't seem to be working. That's crazy. Because in theory, if we have a value of, let's say, 0.785, we have max fractional digits of 3, it should be showing us 0.785. So I don't know. Let's just print it out. This should print out, let's make this pretty pink. We should see a pink number in the top left that says 3 in theory. It says 000. That's nice. I appreciate that. Okay, let's just see what value this is returning. Yeah, 0.0. Okay, so what is this showing then? Oh, I didn't even click P. Nothing. Okay, what is the first index showing? Oh my goodness. There was a space in there. Yes, it is being very difficult because there was a space after this period. I hate that. It'll work now, 100%. Yeah, look at that. except for the fact that I screwed up the code. This needs to go back to index of 1. Now it will work 100%. Ah, look at that. You can slide the slider. Boom, looks all nice. Oh, you can click on this and type in 0.75 manually. And look at that. Easy peasy. Now we've got sensitivity setting, which, I mean, we've already had this set up, but now this is just easier because you can click in here, type in your number, or you can slide the slider and, you know, do whatever you need to do with it. But I use 0.75 in all my stuff. Audio balancing is going to be a pain in the butt. I'm definitely not going to stream that. I mean, maybe I will, because you guys can give input on that, but I probably won't. Just because I feel like that's going to be kind of boring. I also won't be able to have music when I'm doing that, because the music will affect things. I have a much bigger appreciation for the sound guys in video games. Not only the people who make the sound, just because sound design itself is hard, but audio you have to test your game in so many different environments. Like, I'd love to go rent out an actual theater and just play Onyx. Like, that would be so fun. That would be so incredibly fun. But, and just like see how it sounds in the theater. But imagine like making a trailer and watching that in the theater. That would be sick. Alright. Well, we have a slider setting now. Now I guess we should actually make the actual settings menu. And for that, I have the old version of the game. There I can come over here and copy everything. This is the description of the game option. Yes, it is. Okay, so if we come over here to this and we show the game, here we go, baby. Do I have the auto settings plugin installed? I might not have that installed. Auto settings, I do. I need to go look at the auto settings Discord. Nothing except for the fact that I got the full sliders working. So if I press P, it no longer breaks the FOV, but I can still change the FOV, so I can go down to 60 and stop the game, play it, and I'll be at 60. I mean, this was all working before, it's just now it's working with my custom slider class. And I can change my sensitivity to like 8, which means if I move my hand literally a single millimeter, it just goes super far. I play on 0.75. So yeah. But I'm looking at the auto settings. looking at auto settings to see if like the right way to go about some of these settings. But I suppose and I'm also looking at the old project to see some of the settings I had in here because I want to get some of these implemented. So all right, I guess let's get the game tab working. So for now, we can wrap this with an overlay box. Or just overlay, whatever. And this overlay will be just called OV_settings. And then this will be called scrollbox_ mouse and keyboard, since this has sensitivity in it. And then we'll create another one to stick FOV into. Basically, I actually really liked my settings menu, so I'm probably just going to copy it verbatim. Oh goodness, the old main menu. I actually really like this menu, at least layout wise. Art wise, it could use a few updates, and I've learned a lot about UI art. Not enough to be happy with doing it on my own, but I've learned a decent bit. But I love all my animations that I have. But like, yeah, this is probably kind of the functionality we'll get set up today. So we'll be able to like toggle between tabs. So yeah, the game tab is what we'll set up first. Basically, these top 6 we can already get fully functional, and working. So let's do it. So let's duplicate. We're gonna call this scrollbox_game, not gamer, game. And we'll hide the mouse and keyboard one. We'll delete this. And now, guess what? We gotta go make another widget. So we can create a widget blueprint of child or of parent type setting option. My bad, settings option base. Select that. Widget blueprint _ boolean option. We want to add a horizontal box. Whoops, it's called boolean setting, not option. And then we want to have 2 buttons in this horizontal box and a spacer. And we want to fill this, put a spacer of like 5 pixels. Sure. What do we have in old Onyx? We had yes and no. So we'll add some text. Stick that on each button. We'll rename the buttons to btn_yes, or I guess button_true. Just that way in code it is easier to read. We want to set this to nasalization. Yeah, a checkbox works as well. I mean, this is me personally, I prefer something like this, just because otherwise, I guess just it is preference, but also visually, it's, in my opinion, cleaner. Because if you have, if you've got these options, like, where's something that I can compare this to? Here we go. Like, it lines up nicer with things like, okay, you've got the keybinds here. You know, we've got dual keybinds. The buttons just line up nicely with that. And also, like for this, the way I have it set up is I can rename the text. Yeah, basically consistency. If you have a checkbox, like with these sliders, if you have a checkbox, it's just a tiny little checkbox. Whereas these always take up half of this UI widget. A checkbox would just be a tiny little box, and it's kind of just, you know, it doesn't, like, it wouldn't look bad, but to me this just looks better. It's also easier at a glance to see if something's enabled or disabled, because you can, you know, scroll through, you can very quickly see that these are all enabled or disabled. You can kind of do that with the checkbox too, but I guess it just depends on how you make your assets. So to me, it's just, yeah, consistency. This just looks better. It fills out the entire thing, whereas a checkbox wouldn't. And with this, I can have custom text on it. Like this says enabled and disabled. For the controller, you can choose your icon type, which I would like to automatically detect icon types for controllers. Maybe that's a new feature in Unreal 5. I haven't tried it, but because Unreal doesn't really have that by default, I just added it to where you can go in here and change what the icon types are, and you can, you know, so like this just, it's a little more readable too, because now I can rename what these options are. So, oh yeah, these are all the built-in Unreal ones, but you can change them all to near or change them all to custom, and if I don't know, I'm very happy with how this menu is set up. It's weird that, oh yeah, water quality wasn't affected by it. Probably should have that affected by the overall graphics quality. And I want to end up making a system where instead, like, I'll just have graphics quality, and then there's like a slight, I think Call of Duty does this, and I actually really like it, where there's kind of like a sub menu that starts from like right here. And when you click on that, that's when it'll open up all of these options for you to customize individually. Just because it keeps the menus cleaner, keeps them simpler. And if you have a game that has a lot of options, like this, I mean, I'm fine with this. This, I think, looks fine. Yeah, expandable sections, exactly. Just because stuff like this, oh, you know, graphics quality, you have sensitivity, you know, you have your zoom sensitivity, and if you just want a consistent zoom multiplier, then you would set that, and then you can expand it to like customized individual zoom multipliers. I don't know, something like that. It depends on how exactly I set the settings up. Gosh, I forgot, I also still have to add controller settings, goodness gracious. And what some people might not like is, like you see here, I have two different aim assist modes. One of them is kind of what I would consider the more standard FPS game to use. I actually prefer my custom aim assist mode I made. I'm not a controller player, but to me it just feels better. And it's more satisfying because it actually gives you more aim assist the more that you're already tracking the person. It's still limited to pretty much what standard FPS games use. It's still capped. But if you think about it, if you're tracking the target 100%, like your input is already matching the target's velocity, then it's going to give you 100% aim assist. But you don't need aim assist because you're already tracking them 100%. So to me, that is genuine aim assist, because it is assisting your aim. Not most games where if you're just moving, it'll help your aim track the target. Well, what if you don't even want to track that target? So the way my aim assist works is it gives you aim assist based off of your input direction. So if you're looking to the right of somebody, like if they're walking to the right and you're looking to the left, most FPS games, like if they're walking to the right and you're looking to the left, you'll be like looking to the left, and then the aim assist will like grab your aim, pull it to the right, and then you'll keep looking to the left again. And that can mess up your aim in some games. And genuinely just, I don't know. I prefer my aim assist just because it's more intuitive, and knowing that it's actually assisting your aim and not just giving you a, like, I don't know, I guess in my mind, it's only assisting what you're doing. It's not just giving you more aim in the direction of an enemy just because it can. Like, it's only assisting your aim. So if you're tracking someone and some other enemy just comes sprinting across your screen, it's not gonna like yank your aim from that person that you're already tracking. So to me, it's just smarter. But I don't think we've ever actually had that fully in the game to test. So I'm gonna add it. Exactly. It's not just a flat, hey, we're gonna help push your aim towards this player. It's just, no, if you're tracking that person, like, it goes, like you're saying, it goes along with the flow. And to me, when we were testing it, because I coded it and I know how it works, I could tell it was there. But when we just played like shoddy snipers, I've got gameplay of it. We've recorded the entire gameplay session, and my buddy doesn't really play FPS games, and he was actually doing really well. Like, we were both, obviously, if we're both bad, then you know, we're gonna both do equally as bad. But like, we both felt like it was just super intuitive, because it was just, hey, I'm trying to aim at this person. The aim assist would actually assist you in your aim. So I don't know, to me it just makes more sense. My level designer is a controller player, and I've got quite a few other controller, like, dedicated controller players in the testers, or like in my tester group. So I'm gonna code that as the only aim assist method and see what they think of it. It'll definitely take them a little bit to get used to it, because it's not your standard aim assist. But me personally, I think it's more beneficial to use that. It might turn some people away just because it's not your standard aim assist, but I genuinely just think it's worth it. So but then again, that aim assist was tested by non-controller players. So, but to be fair, the other aim assist method, both my level designer and one of the other guys who's kind of one of our dedicated, I guess you could say, controller testers, they both just really couldn't get a good handle on the aim assist. I mean, I literally have the values Oh boy, what have I done? If I show the controller settings, yeah, I literally had the aim assist levels exposed so that they could go in there and manually set the aim assist values to what they think felt fair, and then I was just going to kind of pick an in-between value as the base value. But with my method, that's not really necessary anymore. I can just set the values to what I think to be a fair value, and honestly probably just leave it there. So I'll still have multiplier settings for this, so you'll still be able to like turn off aim magnetism or aim friction if you're one of those people who just don't like aim assist. I know my brother, any game he plays, he turns off aim assist, so I know there's certain people who like that, especially things like Rainbow Six Siege. I know that doesn't have an aim assist, so yeah, the current music in the background is the first official soundtrack. We just released it on February 1st, so 10 days ago. It's out on all platforms. Gosh, I sound like a shill. Go listen to it on all platforms. Appreciate it. We're very pleased with it. Volume 2 is definitely going to be experimenting with a lot more. So we're going to experiment with a little more cinematic sounding music. Kind of getting prepared for if we ever do a campaign, which still not in our scope right now. But if we ever do like a campaign, we definitely want some more cinematic music, and I already know the music direction I want for that, but we'll be experimenting with a lot more like different genres. Like one of the songs is kind of a, I don't even know what you'd call it. Like we were joking, it kind of sounds like a song that you would listen to like running through a field of roses or poppies or something. Like it sounds like one of those songs that you'd see at like the end of a movie, like a almost bitter, I don't know, it's very weird. It still fits the game's theme, but it's like it's not all kind of upbeat electronic music. We're gonna start experimenting with some kind of somber music, some, you know, just different vibes, I guess. It still fits with the theme of the game, just different vibes. Yeah, kind of happy-go-lucky. Honestly, I think I still have it downloaded. Give you guys a sneak peek. I think that's it. Hold up, let me pause it. This one. Yeah, it's, wow, that's loud. Like, it still fits the game's vibe, but it's definitely a lot more, like, it's upbeat. Here we go. Or is this? I can't even remember what's in this playlist anymore. I've listened to all these songs so many times. Okay, good. Yeah, no, this one is not in the in the album. That's a little sneak peek. I'm not gonna spoil it. I mean, you guys pretty much heard the majority of it, but like, yeah, you can definitely tell it's not quite the same vibe, but it is still the same theme, I guess, if that makes sense. Coma, are you here? Are you in chat and just not saying anything? I'll take that as a no. He's not in chat. Anyways. Update value. How was your shower, man? I appreciate it. Let us know what you think. Otherwise, I didn't make any of it. It was all my buddy, my best friend. But we always take all feedback and criticisms. I mean, yeah. Also, when you were, I was just rereading through chat, and yeah, you said a lot of video settings, but trust me, there's gonna be a lot more of like quality settings. Like all the projectiles have lights on them. That's something you'll be able to toggle. You'll be able to control like ragdoll, like destroy time. So that way, like if your computer just doesn't have a good CPU, you can like toggle all that stuff. And GPU, because the lights are a very GPU thing. All of this is actually multiplayer lobby music. That's what this entire album is. So if we go back to old Onyx and we click play, so we're calling this version old Onyx. Golly, this is very broken. I have this music player which just isn't working. I didn't realize it was this broken, but like, yeah, no, for the settings, we were just talking about this earlier while you were taking your shower, but I'm thinking about having like collapsible things, so like, you probably would only ever see overall graphics quality, and you would just change this. But then if you want to change all of these settings, you would click the drop down. So by default, you won't see that many settings. But if you're one of those people who really wants to customize it, you want to go in there and make the settings yours, then you can click that like expand option and it'll expand it to show all of these things. Like I'm a huge advocate for giving all those options to players if they want it. But yeah, you're right. You don't want it to be overwhelming. But I love having the option to do certain things, just because it's better to have the option and not need it than to need the option and not have it. So like I'm thinking maybe for sensitivity you'll just have a zoom multiplier, but then if you want to customize each individual zoom multiplier, then you can you can customize that. So honestly, it's probably I don't know, maybe same thing for reticle. I'm debating adding like a reticle customizer for the people who... What am I saying? No, I'm not caving in. I'm not adding a reticle customizer. Nuh-uh. I refuse. I refuse. The whole point is that each weapon has its own reticle. I'm not gonna cave in and add a reticle customizer. That's just dumb. Anyways, we are working on the Boolean setting. So you set this to like 0.2. Set background color. What time is it? Dang! It's later than I thought. I might have to cut the stream short. I told myself I'd go to bed early today for work tonight because I busted my butt at work today. And so I'm actually very exhausted. Okay, so if this is true, we want to set the true button. If it's false, we want to set the false button to white. And then we want to flip this, whatever the opposite of this is. Don't tell me what to do. I'll go sleep when I'm damn well ready to. I mean, I'm gonna be going to sleep in like 2 hours. I see ya. I'm not gonna be going to sleep just yet. And in theory, when I go to add controller support for the menus, because I've got this whole parent widget stuff, I should just be able to code the parent widget stuff very quickly, code some specific things for each individual like child widget, and boom, the settings should automatically have controller support. So that'll be super sick. Let's go to temp settings, add a thing for on value changed. And let's just print this out. Oh, well, you know, we kinda have to set up the buttons to update the values. So we want the new value to be true and that value to be false. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. There we go. actually, to make this easier to see until I get the art assets in. I'm still kind of debating what I want to do for the menus, for the art for them. Alrighty, now ooh. No, I won't do it like that. Y'all just hearing me over here. Ooh. Temp settings, show FPS and show ping on value changed. We can set Boolean CVAR. I did not want to open up Visual Studio. Oh, come on. R dot show. Alright, Visual Studio, get the heck out of here. I don't want you open. Force close it. Is this just always going to be here now because I didn't let it open? Oh, wait. Game instance. Forget. We have to register Boolean CVAR. Default value is false, so we want to make this r dot show FPS. R dot show ping. We have to register those booleans first. Whoops. And then actually, we just do this on one line for now. Get bool CVAR. Yeah, so this should work. We'll see. Let's just see if that works, if it saves. I haven't done CVAR stuff in a while. Oh, look at that. Automatically says no. If we set that to yes. I don't think this saves. I think I have to call some very specific thing to get it to save. Oh, it saves. I remember I had to do something like that in old Onyx. Let me see. I don't want to show controller stuff. I want to show game. Let me click on this. On option changed. Set bool CVAR. Yeah. We had to apply and save data, or apply and save settings. That's what it was. I don't know if I still have to do that. I would assume I do. I'm probably gonna need to do like I did in the last version, just create this as a helper function. That's cleaning up though. That's something I can do on like a lunch break, because I come home for my lunch break. So sometimes I code, but that's something I can very easily clean up on a lunch break. So and now we need to come to the widgets, because obviously the two things that we're going to do, which you can't actually see one of them because we're not a client. You can only see ping if you're a client. So this FPS counter, that's what we're getting to toggle with this. So if we set this to no, we shouldn't be able to see it. Oh, Visual Studio decided to open. That's nice. I'm glad. I'm glad Visual Studio just decided to pop up in the middle of this. I don't care. Get out of here. So in the FPS counter, we need to set up the code for doing that. So we need to get r.showFPS. Oh, right. I forgot this thing is smart. So if this is true, that means we want to see it. So we want it to be not hit testable, self and all children. And if it's false, then we want it to be collapsed. In theory, and in practice, because I know this is going to work. Look, we can't see our FPS counter. We go here, we set it to true, and look at that, we can see it. And if we close it and restart it, it's there. I can toggle it to no, toggle it back to yes. Easy peasy. And you can see it in the top right corner, kind of, because I blur the background. You can see it showing and hiding. So we should do the same thing for ping, and bada bing bada boom. Settings, super setup, super setup. Wow, I really do need to go to bed after I take my shower.